Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's Real Estate Authority, Barb Schlinker. If you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or just go ahead and search for Barb. You'll find her on almost all of the podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, etc. Every week, Your Real Estate Voice covers great information about the housing market and one of your largest assets, that's your home. Barb, what are we covering today?
Well, Richard, first I want to talk about home prices, because what we are seeing in El Paso County is there is a pretty steady drop in home prices. Other counties are doing a little bit better. I think Douglas County only went down a little bit. Teller County's kind of flat. So the question is, are homes overpriced? Because the buyers have definitely slowed down, and some of that could be seasonal. So we're going to deep dive and cover that topic. And then the second topic is how to sell your house in a tough market. What are the things that make a house stand out? And we're going to walk you through how we help our clients do that. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is, why do some people sell their home what we call off market? Off market means they don't, list on Zillow and all the realtor sites. They just sell directly to somebody they know or an investor. We're going to go into that and why some people choose to do that. And then the last thing is about cash offers. We're going to talk about how you can sell your home online, like CarMax sells cars. And then we're also going to cover our hot new listings. Richard?
So, Barb, the real estate market has had some recent turmoil, which could be good for buyers and not so good for sellers. Do you think homes are overpriced right now here in Colorado?
Well, it's all about interest rates. I think that's really driving that question. I mean, if the homes were priced higher 2 years ago, back in 2022, that was kind of the point, the middle of 2022, when the Fed started raising the rates, and it caused people to not be able to afford the payments. And so the rates kind of zoomed up into the sevens. It went as high as the eights last year. And this year we've seen it as high as about 7.5. And there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's actually very, very hard to predict where the rates are going to go. But I'm hoping, and a lot of people are predicting, next year is going to be a little bit stronger for real estate. But what we're seeing right now, just in the past week or so, we've seen the interest rates drop down a little bit, which is good. And it's almost like this inverse relationship. When rates drop down, the sales go up because buyers can afford that payment. But the big surprise to me is what's going on in El Paso County. The median list price has dropped by $5,000 a week for the past 4 weeks consistently. Even though it's doing that, they're saying that it's still a slight seller's market. The average days on market climbed up to over 90 days, and the inventory is kind of at the flat level. So I think some of it could be seasonality. If you kind of look at a graph to see when the prices are higher, typically it is in the springtime. And I'd say overall, there's some specialists that think that we'll end up with a net higher price point at the end of the year. Douglas County is a little bit different. Their prices slightly down, maybe only $4,000 in the past couple of weeks. And the average days on market's about 93 days. Teller County's median list price is going up, believe it or not, but their average days on market's about 138 days. Now, what that means is the average time it takes for a house to go on the market from the time it goes available for sale to the time it goes under contract. So that does not include the houses that are not getting contracts. So it's a little bit of a misleading number, because there are quite a few homes. I would say in any given week, about 20-ish% of the homes are selling. So that makes it right at 3 to 4 months supply. The other thing I like to look at is what I call a leading indicator of pending sales. And one thing we noticed just in the last week is pending sales actually went up. They spiked up a little bit, because the rates drop down. It's very much an inverse relationship for that. Average days on market's been continuing to climb since April of this year. And we've had a big spike in inventory over the summer. So on average, we're pushing about 90 days on the market, but the inventory is ticking down a little bit. So that's a good sign. It's still cheaper to rent right now than it is to buy a house, but a lot of people in all different generations want to be homeowners. So the best strategy for them really is to plan ahead, save a lot of money, and be ready to jump when you find the right house. I would not wait for prices to substantially correct because I don't think it's going to happen. Over the long term, real estate goes up. But what was an anomaly about what happened in 2022 is that the rates were so low, the live in the home buyer was competing directly with these corporate investor buyers. There were some like BlackRock, they were buying since 2014 when they first came to our office. They had this company called Home Partners. They were buying between 400 and 700 homes a year to buy and hold and rent. And right at the peak of the market, they were bidding against live in the home buyers that had to get a loan, offering 5,000 over the highest offer cash. So they were gobbling up houses. Now they're actually starting to sell some of them. But the truth is that's not going on anymore. The investors aren't, doing that as commonly as what we saw back then. And it's all about interest rates and the cost of money. So back then the rates were 3%. Now they're about 6.72% as of the last check. And that's for conventional, right? So the rates are double. So sometimes the hottest listings are home sellers that are willing to let, if they happen to have a VA loan, if they're a veteran, thank you for your service, by the way. But if they are a veteran, and they have a really low interest mortgage and they're willing to let their buyer assume the loan. All VA loans are 100% assumable, whether or not you're a veteran. So if you're sitting on a 2.75% mortgage and you want to sell your house, you can't take that mortgage with you, and you still will be able to use your VA when you go on to the next property, whether your buyer is a veteran or not. Why not make that available to the buyer? It motivates the buyer to pay full price, and buyers are looking for those kind of deals and they're jumping on it right now. So we're seeing the prices spike up just a little bit. It fluctuates kind of every day. We talked about where the rates are going, but at the end of the day, what we're seeing across the board is we're seeing more choices for buyers. We're seeing more competition for sellers. I was just doing an opinion of value this morning for some properties down in Fountain, and I was quite shocked in this lower price range, at which 2 years ago would have been a massive bidding war. Now there's probably 150 homes on the market, lots of things for buyers to choose from in that low end price range. That's why if you do need to sell and you want to sell a home as a home seller, you need to get all 4 P's right. What do I mean by that? Number one, pick the right agent. A majority of the agents in this market have never seen a market where the prices are dropping. They don't know what to do. We know how to do it, and we know how to make you succeed. So that's really important. Also, the promotion, the marketing piece, the agent is involved. Don't let your agent use their smartphone to take pictures because the lighting is not good enough. The width of the photos is not good enough. And just that little thing is enough for a buyer to go choose another home because your first showing is online. And if you don't get that right, they're not even going to bother to leave their fuzzy bunny slippers of their home and go see the house. Pricing is absolutely critical. And there's so much information online right now that the buyers can really see. They can go up on Zillow and see all the sales around you. They can see what Zillow thinks the values are, the homes around you, what has recently sold, what's on the market. They know the market probably better than a lot of agents know the market. And so if you overprice a home, they're just going to pass it by and you won't have any showings and you won't have any offers. So we're having we offer a free report and it's called the top 7 tips to get your house ready to sell for top dollar. All you have to do is go to barbhasthebuyers.com, click on the green button, free reports, and they're all right there for your download. Or you can give us a call at 719-301-3900. So if you are selling now, what is an important thing to do is price your home, what I call realistically versus optimistically. And I have so many people that say, hey, well, why can't I just, price it high? Won't they make me an offer? And the answer is no, they won't even come to see it. So my name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about whether or not homes are overpriced in Colorado. There's a lot of homeowners right now that think that they are. But if the rates were down, I think they would jump in and buy a house. And it won't take much. It could be if they go down in the fives, we're going to have craziness going on. Next up, we're going to talk about how should home sellers prepare in these market conditions when it's a little bit softer than it has been in the past. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing the current real estate market and how people can be prepared if they want to buy or sell. So, what should home sellers expect and do in a market situation like this one?
Well, there are a whole bunch of buyers sitting on the sidelines. I know that because whenever I price a home where the seller makes a decision to price it very realistically, immediately we get lots of offers, lots of attendance. They have a good nose for what's a good deal. Buyers will always jump on it, when they see it. But if they wait for prices and rates to fall, it's really a mistake. So keep an eye on interest rates right now. They're sitting at about 6.7. It varies by the hour, and the low sixes for VA. Pricing is a way to create demand. It will always gravitate. The home will sell in most cases at full market value if it's priced right. Picking the right team, of course. And if you are thinking of moving, one of the things that we do is we actually sit down with the seller. We'll go into a really good consultation about what their strategy is, when they want to sell, what's important to them. And then we actually give them tips on how to execute that strategy and go from there. We're sitting on over 28,047 registered buyers just on my little website looking for homes. Typically, I can match about 700 buyers to any home, and we show up with multiple cash offers so we can guarantee 100% of market value, or I'll pay you the difference. So if you want to find out about that, you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking about making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to sell your home in a tough market. Barb will give you the lowdown on that.